Ma'am, please don't drink that. She was only 9, trembling, but her voice shattered the room. The CEO raised the glass, unaware that death was inches from her lips. 9-year-old Lena, the janitor's quiet daughter, had grown up invisible in the towering corporate building. Some children learned to read early. Lena learned to observe. Her father, Raphael, the night janitor, always told her, "When you're small, people forget you're there. Use that." Tonight, that gift saved a life. It was the night of the company's annual charity gala, a glittering display of high society, photography flashes, and whispers behind champagne flutes. CEO Amelia Hart, elegant and feared in equal measure, moved through the room like a queen surveying her empire. But Lena wasn't watching her. She was watching the 2 board members who had spent the entire month trying to force Amelia out. And then she saw it. A quick movement. A hand blocking the view. A vial emptied into the CEO's drink. Her breath caught. Her heart slammed against her ribs. They laughed like nothing happened. They melted back into the crowd. But Lena knew evil when she saw it. She tugged her father's sleeve. "Papa, they did something to her drink." Raphael froze. He'd seen a lot in his life. Corruption, greed, cruelty, but poison? He paled. "What do you mean, Mija?" She pointed with a shaking small finger. "They put something inside. I heard them say, 1 sip, and we're free of her." Raphael's knees weakened. He knew that going to the board was suicide. Going to security was pointless. They worked for the board. Only one person could be warned. And she was the target. Amelia stood at the center of the ballroom, smiling politely as she accepted the glass from a server who had no idea he was carrying death. The music swelled. The crowd shimmered. Amelia lifted the glass. Lena ran. Her tiny shoes pattered across the marble floor, her breath ragged, hair flying behind her like a warning flag.
"Ma'am."
"Please don't drink that." The entire ballroom fell silent. A janitor's daughter interrupting a black tie event? People frowned. Cameras turned. Snickers rippled. Amelia lowered the glass slowly, confusion knitting her brow. "Sweetheart, what's wrong?" The girl's lip quivered. "They poisoned it."
Gasps.
Laughter. Disbelief. But Amelia's eyes didn't leave the girl's face. Kids didn't lie like this, not with terror in their eyes.
"Who?"
Amelia asked quietly. Lena clutched her father's leg. "Those 2 men behind the pillar."
"I saw them."
"I heard them." The board members stiffened but forced smug smiles. Amelia didn't smile back. In that moment, something shifted, like the calm before an oncoming storm. The CEO handed the glass to security. "Test this." Immediately, the room erupted. Lena hid behind her father as accusations exploded across the dance floor. The board members protested and cursed, but Amelia's gaze was steel. Raphael wrapped an arm around his daughter, as if shielding her from the world. And then, the test came back. Positive. Lethal poison. Pandemonium. But Amelia Hart didn't scream or tremble or collapse. She walked straight to Lena, kneeled down, and took the girl's hands. "You just saved my life," she whispered. And somewhere behind them, the 2 men tried to run. The moment the poison was confirmed, the masks fell off. 2 powerful men tried to flee, but the janitor's daughter had started a storm. Amelia Hart wasn't the type of woman who let betrayal go unpunished. Security lunged as the board members attempted to escape. One tripped over a buffet table, crashing through plates and crystal. The other shoved guests aside, shouting about lies and conspiracies. But Amelia was already ahead of them. "Lock the exits," she commanded, voice sharp enough to cut glass. Within seconds, the ballroom transformed from glittering celebration to a crime scene. Guests pressed to the walls, whispering anxiously. Amelia rose to her full height, her emerald gown sweeping the floor like a judge's robe, as she strode toward the men who had plotted her death. "You poisoned my drink," she said. "Not a question. A verdict." One of them, Gregson, sneered. "This is ridiculous. That rat's daughter." Raphael stepped forward, rage simmering. "Watch your mouth." Gregson scoffed. "You're a janitor." Amelia's glare could have frozen fire. And he is an employee of this company, she said. One I trust more than the two of you combined. The second man, Turner, trembled. We only wanted the company back in safe hands. You've changed too much. You're cutting our bonuses. Planning audits. You're a threat. A threat to corruption? Amelia stepped closer.
Yes.
I am. Lena peeked out from behind her father, wide-eyed. Amelia softened for a second. Sweetheart, she said gently, can you tell me exactly what you saw? Lena swallowed. They said, make sure she drinks it all. Tonight it ends. And then one man poured something inside. Gasps rippled again. Turner turned white. That was enough. Amelia signaled to security. Arrest them. Call the police. As they were dragged away, Gregson spat. You think this little brat ruined us? You have no idea what's coming. Amelia stepped directly into his path. Actually, I do. What's coming is justice. He was hauled out screaming. The ballroom slowly calmed, though fear lingered in the air like smoke. Amelia turned to Raphael and Lena. Please come with me. They followed her to a quieter side room where the chaos felt distant, muffled. Amelia knelt again, this time with something in her eyes people rarely saw, gratitude, warm and fierce. Lena, she said softly, you didn't just save me. You saved this entire company. The little girl blinked. I was scared. That's what makes you brave, Amelia said. Raphael lowered his head. Ma'am, I didn't know if we should tell anyone. I thought they'd fire me. Or worse. Amelia stood. You're not losing your job. In fact. She paused, thinking. You're getting a promotion. Raphael stared. A what? And Lena, she added, turning to the girl, I'd like to sponsor your schooling. The father's breath caught. Ma'am, we can't accept. You can. You will. Lena hugged her father, overwhelmed. Amelia watched them with an expression she rarely let herself feel, something almost tender. Because tonight she almost died, and a janitor's daughter saved her. The gala was over, but the danger wasn't. Someone else had helped the board members plan the poisoning, and he was still inside the building. Amelia escorted Raphael and Lena to her private office. She didn't want them walking the halls alone, not tonight. But as soon as they entered, Amelia noticed something wrong. Her computer screen was on. Files were open. A drawer was slightly ajar. Someone's been in here. Raphael stiffened. You think the men had help? I know they did, Amelia said. At that moment, her head of security burst in. Ma'am, we found tampered locks downstairs. Someone else tried to escape. Is he still inside? Amelia asked.
Yes.
And he's dangerous. Amelia turned to Raphael. Take Lena. Stay behind me. But as they tried to leave the office, the lights flickered, and the door slammed shut. A figure stepped out from the shadows, and Amelia's blood froze. Hello, Amelia, said Victor Hale, her former COO, fired 6 months ago for embezzlement. Did you really think I'd let you expose me? Raphael instinctively pushed Lena behind him. Victor's smile chilled the room. Relax, janitor. I'm only here for her. Amelia stepped forward. You poisoned my drink. Victor shrugged. Gregson and Turner lacked imagination. But yes, it was my plan. And it would have worked if not for the rat child. Lena whimpered. Raphael surged forward, fury in his eyes. Don't you speak about my daughter. Victor pulled out a small knife. One step closer, and she's next. Amelia felt her pulse quicken. She kept her voice calm. Victor, think this through. I have, he hissed. I'm leaving the country tonight. But not before I erase the only people standing in my way. He moved toward Amelia. And Raphael moved, without thinking. He grabbed a metal lamp from the desk and swung. Victor dodged, slashing Raphael's arm. Lena screamed. Amelia lunged, grabbing Victor's wrist. They struggled, crashing against the desk. Papers flew. The knife clattered across the floor. But Victor was strong, too strong. He shoved Amelia back and reached again for the knife. Until a small hand grabbed it first.
Lena.
Drop it, Amelia shouted. Victor turned. The little girl held the knife, backwards, trembling. I won't let you hurt my dad, she said, voice shaking but steady. Victor lunged. Raphael threw himself between them. At the same instant, security burst through the door, and Victor was tackled. The knife skidded harmlessly across the floor. Lena collapsed into her father's arms, sobbing as Raphael whispered, It's okay, Mija. It's okay. Papa's here. Amelia stood trembling, not from fear, but from the realization. If Lena hadn't spoken up twice tonight, she would be dead. And so would Raphael. The police arrived just after midnight. The company's darkest secrets finally unraveled, and the CEO made a promise she intended to keep. Victor, Gregson, and Turner were escorted out in handcuffs. Reporters swarmed outside the building, cameras flashing like lightning. Raphael tried to shield Lena from the noise, but she clung to him tightly. One reporter shouted, Miss Hart, is it true a janitor's daughter saved your life? Amelia looked at Lena with something like pride. Yes, she said into the microphones. And I owe her everything. The crowd erupted with questions, but Amelia turned away. Tonight wasn't for publicity. Tonight was for the two people who had risked everything for her. She led them back inside, away from the chaos. Raphael winced from his arm wound. Ma'am, thank you for believing my daughter. Amelia's expression softened. She saw the truth when grown men refused to. Lena tugged Amelia's gown. Are you okay now? Amelia crouched to eye level. Because of you. And I'll make sure you're safe. Always. It wasn't something Amelia normally said. She had built her life on steel walls, business armor, and a fierce independence that allowed no vulnerability. But tonight cracked something open in her. She walked them to her executive lounge, insisting a company medic treat Raphael's arm while bringing Lena warm cocoa. The girls sipped delicately. Miss Amelia, why would grown-ups hurt you? Amelia paused. How do you explain greed to a child? Because some people want power more than they want to be good, she said gently. But you stopped them. Raphael watched her carefully. Ma'am, I don't know how to thank you for everything. I should be thanking you. That's our job, Raphael said. Keep the building safe. Amelia smiled for the first time that night. Well, you went above your job description. Lena giggled softly. Amelia's heart squeezed. For years she'd wanted a child. But her career, her marriage, then her divorce, everything got in the way. She had told herself she was fine without one. But looking at Lena, something in her ached. She pushed the thought away and focused on what she could do. Raphael, she said, I wasn't exaggerating. I want to sponsor Lena's education, fully. Private school. Any extracurriculars she wants. Raphael's mouth fell open. Ma'am, that's too much. It's not enough. And your promotion, she continued. You're becoming head of maintenance. Salary doubled. Schedule flexible. Raphael grabbed the edge of the table, overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Lena beamed. Papa, say yes. I want to go to a school with books that don't smell funny. Raphael laughed wetly. Okay. Yes. Amelia exhaled, relief flowing through her. But under the relief, a question lingered. If this little family hadn't been in the right place at the right time, would she even still be alive? The sun rose over a building forever changed. And the CEO wasn't done transforming lives. Because some heroes come from the most unexpected places. The next morning, Amelia called an emergency board meeting, this time with honest, loyal board members only. Raphael sat beside her, stunned, while Lena colored quietly in the corner of the room on expensive bond paper. The meeting exposed more corruption, more schemes, more collaborators. Amelia was ruthless. But she was also fair. By noon, half the leadership was replaced. By afternoon, ethics reforms were drafted. By evening, Amelia made the announcement that would shock the entire company. We rise together, she said in her speech. And today, I want to honor the bravest person in this building. 9-year-old Lena. She invited the little girl onto the stage. Lena hid behind her father's leg, cheeks burning. Amelia gently lifted her onto her hip, holding her the way a mother might. "This girl," Amelia announced, "saved my life. And she reminded me of the one thing leadership often forgets: courage has no rank." Thunderous applause shook the hall. Raphael wiped his eyes. After the conference, Amelia took them to her penthouse floor, the first time anyone outside top executives had been allowed there. Lena ran excitedly to the massive window. "It looks like the whole city is glowing." Amelia smiled. "You deserve to see the world from places you never thought you belonged." Raphael touched her arm, hesitant. "Ma'am, we can't thank you enough." "But why us?" Amelia took a long breath. "Because last night I learned I've spent too many years alone. And maybe it's time I stop being alone." Raphael's heart thumped. "Ma'am?" She knelt beside Lena. "Sweetheart, would you like to visit my office more often? Help with little tasks? Maybe even spend time with me?" Lena flung her arms around her neck. "Yes." Raphael tried to speak, but his voice cracked. "You've given us more than we deserve." Amelia placed a hand on his. "You saved my life. That creates a bond one don't ignore." The three stood there, an unexpected trio forged from danger and truth. And maybe, Amelia thought, maybe this was the family she never knew she needed. The city lights shimmered below, as if blessing the moment. And somewhere in the distance, justice had already started working.